everybody, welcome back to Angel's Crafts. I'm Audrey. This little mold is what I've thought may have been a little cactus that you put back to back so that you could set it in some little maybe pot stand or something. I had no idea what it specifically was when I opened it. I am going to be doing this in EcoPore, the Jade Resin Crete, which is measurable 1:1. I don't know why I'm sitting tapping my fingers, and oh look, you can see my phone case. Why am I? Oh yeah, I was trying to sort my light because there was an issue with my light and I couldn't figure out what it was. It wasn't plugged in properly, so it was rather dim. But here I'm going to be doing, I'm going to measure out my resin crate. I didn't realise that I didn't have a lot left. I thought that there was going to be enough in this bag left to make up enough to fill this mould. Turns out I didn't, and I was rather bummed because I thought it was my last bag. So I measured it out, and I don't know why it cut out, but I only got like 180 grams of the resin crete, and for that it should have been about 100 and maybe 50, maybe 100, yeah, about 150 or just under, because it's 30 grams of water to 100 grams of powder. Well, oh, 1 second, I got an annoying little puppy again. So I give this a good mix up, but I take a little bit too long mixing it up and it starts to get a little bit thick, but I still managed to get it poured. So I was planning on just filling what I could with it, thinking that it was going to be a fail. It was a nightmare. I didn't think I had enough to do any of it, so I hummed and hawed as to whether or not I was going to continue the project and keep it as a video, or if I was just going to scrap it, because I wasn't sure how much of it I was going to get filled with what amount of resin crete I had. Now this is the Jade Resin Crete pigment colours, and I do 8 drops, although the first one was a little bit big, so it might maybe have been 9 or 10. But I'm using the green. Obviously it's green. Sorry, I shouldn't say obviously. If you're colourblind and you don't know what colour that is, it's green. It's a kind of darker green, but once you mix in through the white of the resin crete, that first lot was only 5 drops. So I made it up to 8 drops, just to darken it a little. But yeah, when you mix your colourant through your eco powder, it goes a little bit of a pastelier colour because of the rich bright whiteness of the powder. So I am digging round about, making sure that there's none stuck on the bottom, scraping the sides just to make sure that everything is mixed in well together. I am now going to just pour the cactuses, but as I said, I had been mixing the cup a little bit too long, making sure that there was no stuff stuck in the bottom. I am trying to decide whether or not I was going to keep doing this one or not. It got a little bit thick, so it's pouring rather slowly. Bells, move over a bit. Thank you. Huffy, no need for that. I managed just about to get two of these cactuses, the two cactus parts filled, and a very thin layer on one of the little squares. So I even made a bit of a mess. As you can see, it looks like it's going to start pouring over the end at the top on the first one I've just poured. But it didn't. I thought my table was unlevel, but it wasn't. But these little stud bits, one of them disappeared, and the one next to it, that you can just about see the tiny little dot, sort of didn't fill, and then just disappeared underneath as well. I didn't overpour it because, as you can see, all the rest of them are there. So I decided to empty some out and put it into the little long piece. As I said, I didn't really know what this one was when I started. So I ended up just filling up what I could with what I had. Because this one didn't fill properly, it's quite thin. And I am going to try and clean up this one on the left so that I can try and find those two missing little holes that are supposed to be there. Oh, Bells. Oh, I'm sorry, Bells. Right, there you go. Off you go. I thought at this point, well, I'm gonna have to do something with it. So I might fill the other parts after I've demolded with regular resin and do them a nice green colour and see if I could get it to fix for there. But as you can see, this the demold, it came out the mould quite nicely, and I was pretty chuffed with it. The little holes are where your shelf parts go. Although at this point I still couldn't quite figure out what they were for or how it worked, because I had no idea what it was. So you'll see me fiddling about with it a little bit here and there. Once I demolded, I went to clean up the mould with some baby wipes after I finished messing around trying to figure out what it was and how it worked. Just cleaning off some of the little rough edges. There wasn't that much of a rough edge, even though it was really thin poured, that one. But I then figured that, yep, that has to go in there somehow, but it would not go. And while I was doing that part, I broke the because I was daft enough to do this before settling it down Settling it down. Not settling it down. Letting it cure so it was still rather brittle. Fragile and brittle. So that's me trying to figure out where this piece goes. But because I hadn't let it sit for the 24 hours, I was being silly. And I didn't watch what I was doing. And I broke a bit. Here I'm trying to place it and trying to figure out where it goes. Because as I said, I had no idea what it was. I just knew it was a cactus mould. I didn't buy this mould. It was given to me. I could not figure out how to sort it because I had no idea what it was. And there you go. You just seen me poking out the two broken bits from from the little shelf bit, and I was kind of annoyed at myself, but it happens. Sometimes you just get so intrigued into what you're doing that you forget to do it properly. That broke the end of that little thin piece, a little tiny piece that I've just put up the top there. So now I'm going to go get some baby wipes and give this mould a clean and try to figure out what to do next, because as you can see I broke it, and that's me just popping out the little holes, making sure that there's no jaggy bits, little bits inside them. So I'm gonna put this on my cake rack and let this part cure. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do when it comes to getting the rest of the mould done. I was contemplating, as I said earlier, making it from just normal resin. I'm just breaking this one up because I broke the sides and it's quite thin and still quite pliable. So I'm going to put them in my extras bit so that if I do a different mould that needs topping up but I don't have enough, I can just pop them inside it to fill it up a bit. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I'm going to do, thinking about how to continue making whatever this was. There I think I just realised that it's a shelf piece. The long bit is for the back and the little bits are the shelves, and the wee tiny bit at the bottom is just a front piece. And yeah, the shelves sit at an angle. But as I said, I decided after doing this to clean the mould, and as I went down to find the box of wipes, because I needed a new pack of wipes, I found another half bag of J. Dixon Resin Crete. That was the colour I was gonna incorporate into the resin to make it the same kind of colour. It's my own paste, sort of colour paste. There's a name for it. What is it? I can't remember now. I made this up out of some green and leftover party resin, which you can do to make your own colours. Who have I saw do that? I can't remember. No, I can't. Oh, no, wait a minute. I've seen Lula do it at Near Goblin Art. I'm sure I've seen her doing it. And she saw it somewhere else as well. But there you go. That's me bag to show you that I just found another half bag of resin Grete. So I'm going to make up the other parts with the resin Grete. I'm going to do the same colour and all the rest of that. I am going to let Ray play some music for you because I have been talking for way too long, rambling and rambling. He can play some music and I'll be right back in a few. Hey, I'm back again. As you can see, I managed to get them. I took them all off, and as I was taking one of them out, it broke. What I had done was I had a little bit left over and I popped it into this mould which already had some resin Grete in it. I had two moulds on the side. One's got resin in it and one had a little bit of resin Grete. And this beautiful little fox, although it's sort of a grey green, it actually looks quite nice finished. But that's not part of today's video. I'm just showing it because I was letting you see what I did with the rest of the green that I'd used. But yep, I made that up and instantly broke one. And that really annoyed me because I'd already broke one before and I didn't want to have to make up more resin Grete to make up one more of those. But here we are. It's all dried and now I'm going to try and figure out how to put it together. So this was an absolute nightmare. Neither the cactuses nor the little plate pieces were overpoured. I had already been round and checked all the little holes and gave all the holes a little clean, made sure that there was no excess bits in them, and I could not get this to fit. It seemed like they were just slightly off so that they weren't meeting up properly. And I then got frustrated, annoyed, and stopped filming and took it through the living room. I then sat for 5 full episodes of Smallville trying to get this to work. I ended up breaking bits. I ended up spending those 5 full episodes sanding and fidgeting and messing around, and I could not get any of them to fit. I finally managed to get a couple of the pieces to fit, and then I UV resined the rest of the parts together. Because as I says, I think an episode of Smallville is about 48 to 55 minutes long, and I spent 5 full episodes after I left the craft room trying to get that fixed. And I ended up having to break some of the little end pieces off, cleaning it up, gluing it, UV resining it together, and you will see. You can even in one of the glamour shot photos see the gap at the back where they're not connected. There it is, that one, where it wasn't connected properly. But it was a complete fail, but it looks not too bad for a complete fail. Thank you so much for hanging around. Please subscribe and come back again next week.